What's up, YouTube? Pastor Bob. Well, had to put a new water filtration system in today. And for some people, it's kind of tough. And they get nervous when they're doing it. And so I figured I'd just do a little video here. Whenever you're going to do a water filtration system, right, you got to make sure that you can block off your main line, your filter from your main line. And let me explain this. So, you have an expansion tank. So your line comes in from your well or artesian well. Okay? Goes into your expansion tank, comes back out. You have a metering gauge and an on and off switch, right? This on and off switch here, right, regulates, once it gets up to the certain amount of pressure, the switch will kick it off. That means the volume inside of your pipes, okay, is at an adequate pressure so that you can wash dishes or take a bath or do outside work. Now, when it loses any pressure, operating pressure, then this switch will kick back on and allow the pump that's down in the well to kick on. Then it comes up the pipe, okay, and then you'll have another valve, shut-off valve. Now, this shut-off valve shuts everything from the expansion tank, to this point. So, this is your main shut-off valve, okay? Now, if you turn this one on, okay, and you turn these off, this one here off, okay, and this one here, or this one here and this one here, I have a backup system, right? I wanted to do this in case something went wrong, right? So I have a dual system. So if I can't shut this valve off, because these old valves, they go bad, and what happens is, because they sweat these in with solder, it's just a pain in the neck. And putting new gaskets in it and new O-rings is not worth it. So what I did was, I put a shark bite 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch ball shut-off valve in there. And that way I can isolate my filters when I want to change my filters, right? So I could just shut this valve off, and I could shut this valve off up here, isolate the water filtration system, and I could still have water running through this main line all the way up through, okay, into the house. Now, you say, well, if this is on all the time, that defeats the purpose. Well, that's not how it works. And let me explain. So, this shuts off the whole house water, right? This bottom main valve. This one here will allow you to continue to flow water throughout the house, okay? It allows water to go through the house. While you're changing your filter, just as long as you shut this valve off, or this one, or that one, okay? Now, if these don't work, these are brand new, so there's a backup system to make sure that I can shut the system off to change the filters, okay? Now, while I'm changing the filters, because you know how people like to moan and groan and cry, and it's always, they can't wait, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it takes you to take the two filters off and change it. Everybody's got to go pee and everybody's got to go dookie at the same time that you're changing your filters. So, to avoid everybody crying, whining, moaning, and groaning, it's best that when you hook up your system, or if you're going to put in a water filtration system or water softener, whatever, make sure that you can isolate that whole system, like I did, okay, from your main water line. Now, the water won't be filtered, but for a short period of time, it ain't going to really matter or not. You know, I mean, it's not going to be a big deal for a short period of time. And the reason for it is most of your pipes are already clean. You know, your water, your pipes themselves are clean because a lot of water's ran through it. So there'll be very minimal amount of, sand or iron or whatever. Okay, for a short period of time, just to go to the bathroom or whatever, that'd be fine. Okay, and then once you change your valves, I mean your filters, right? Then all you have to do, because this system will be on already, is open your valves back up and you're ready to rock and roll. And then what you do is you shut this valve off, okay? You'll shut this valve here off, like I'm doing right now, right? So you just shut this off. Now the water can't run up there and bypass it. So now that this is shut off and you turn your main valve on, your water will run through your system, through your water filtration system, back through and back to the main part of your house. So if you guys are thinking about doing that, or you're going to change, or maybe you was even wondering why that was that way, I figured that I would do a little short video and kind of show you how a system is hooked up in case you're thinking about putting one in, okay? And why you do it this way. Because some people may not know. So these valves here and these valves up here are to isolate the system. That's what they're for. Okay? So that way you can turn this on, still have your main on, right? You can still have your main on, just as long as these are shut off, okay? As long as these guys here are shut off, because you have to shut them off if you're going to open this valve, because this valve will pump water back through the system irregularly backwards, which you don't want to do. Okay? So remember, main valve, bypass valve, right? And then these are isolation, this is an isolation ball valve here and here, and these are just shut-off valves here. They both shut it off, but I just wanted to do it that way. I was going to just whack these off and eliminate them and put the ball valves in. And I said, no, I'll just leave them there. It's always good to have a backup. You never know, right? So there you have it. It's not very hard. It took me a couple hours to do it. I mean, it took me a couple hours to put it in. I'm waiting on a 3/4 by 3/4 shark bite 45. Mary went to get that. Outside of that, all I have to do is push that in, and then slowly, I do mine differently, slowly increase the water pressure. Okay, you just don't open this bad boy right up, right? Now I have my whole system shut up because, we're all, over 50 here. So, except my brother, he's 42. So, we don't fight and argue in the house. But I do know friends and families and people in my, I'm a pastor in my congregation. Oh my God, you wouldn't believe how they argue and fight. So, I wanted to do a little short video for you guys so you guys could see it, see how I did it. Okay? Cost me around $300 for the parts. This was $200, and then another $100 for the ball valves, the 45s, and so on and so forth. So I hope this video was helpful to you guys. If it was, please give me a like, share, subscribe. It's Pastor Bob. Have a good weekend. See ya.